Always a great time having my next guest on the show. It's the Moroccan Devil, Youssef Zalal, who will be back in the cage October the 4th at UFC 320 when he takes on Josh Emmett. Youssef, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, my man. How you doing?
Good, good. It's always nice to talk to you. You always have that infectious smile. It just makes the interview so much more fun. When you first got this matchup, obviously you guys are right next to one another in the rankings. You're number nine, he's number eight. Is this the guy that you kind of thought you were going to get matched up with, or did you hear rumblings of someone else?
So I really didn't know like who was gonna be, but I knew because I called him out for because he was the only guy that didn't have a fight, and that's kind of like my thing. And I was like, I don't want to be sitting around and not fighting, and both of us not fighting. So I was like, hey, you're the only one that I see in the top 10 that doesn't have a fight. Like everybody else had a fight, like Gene Silva, Diego, Mozart, all those guys. The only guys that didn't really have a fight was Yair just fought, and then Arnold. I don't know what was going on with Arnold, but that. That was the only fights in Lauren. But Lauren obviously got a fight. So yeah, so I just called out and put it in the universe like that, and then it happened.
What do you think of the matchup stylistically? Obviously, he's got some heavy shots, maybe the hardest puncher in the division. That might be fair to say. Like, what do you think of the matchup stylistically?
Man, my style matches up good with a lot of people. I feel like I bring a lot of, a lot of people say, "Oh my God, he just runs, oh this and that." It's like it's not that hard. You can stop it at any time. You know what I mean? But also brings, like you said, like he's well known for his power. You know what I mean? And even though he's like 40 years old, people still like don't understand that power. Like he can shut your lights at any time you want. So got to be sharp for 15 minutes and then go change your life.
It leads me right into my next question. You mentioned his age. Do you think he's still in his prime, or do you think that you're starting to see him slip a little bit? Maybe he's not like the best version of Josh Emmett.
I don't know, bro. I feel like this MMA game now these days, it's like you see guys that are like in prime getting just beat up and like all this. So I feel like it's just a matter of the game and matter of the time or like or the opportunity, whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I feel like he's still a dangerous fighter. I mean, he fought Laurent Murphy for 5 rounds, and like you see what he done. Like he's still being out there, even though he's super tough and stuff like that. So that is the biggest puzzle for me is finishing Josh Emmett and then like really makes me like excited, and like you said, like the power brings it as well. So like you have to be like really careful of the things you do as well.
When you look at someone that's in their prime, or maybe out of their prime, is it kind of like dependent on how many wars they've been in? Like you look at him, he's been in a lot of firefights. Like that fight with Murphy, he took a lot of damage. Is that basically the main factor that kind of like gets someone out of their prime and over the hill?
100%. I mean, I'm not no doctor, no expert, no none of that, but I feel like your body like wears down. You know what I mean? I feel like now they have like a bunch of new technology and science and all this stuff behind it. And some people cheat, some people don't. I don't know what the hell they be doing, but like definitely there's ways around it now these days, I feel like. But obviously, definitely the age definitely helps you, and then the youth helps you a lot. So yeah, and I think that's like the biggest difference. I think in this fight, he has the experience, and obviously he has way more experience than me, especially in that UFC cage. And then obviously with the high level guys, like this is my second fight at a ranking guy. You know what I mean? So he fought nothing but the ranked guys for like since I was not even in the UFC, I don't think. So that was crazy. So yeah, I feel like it's just a fight, and I look at it as it's a fight. And I don't care like how bad those fights went and how well it went. I really don't care. What I care about is me performing that night, April 4th.
October 4th.
Oh, October 4th. Yeah.
You had me there for a second. I was like, wait a
Nah,
second.
you have me. I was like, hold on, bro. I haven't fought in 6 months, bro. So
Yeah.
I was kind of like been waiting. There you go. There you go. October 4th. Excuse me.
October 4th. Okay. We'll circle back to this matchup. Obviously, plenty more to dissect here, but I want to just talk to you about the big win over Calvin Kattar. The speed, the movement that you had, that was clearly the difference in the fight. Were you surprised at just maybe how good you did? I mean, Calvin Kattar's a guy that's been around the division for a really long time, a tough out, like a guy, a gritty veteran, and you look great in there, man.
Yeah, man, I was like that fight was weird for me. I was so excited, I was so happy, and I feel like I gave way too much respect for the opponent, and that's the biggest lesson that I learned from that fight is that third round, like everything just hit me, everything hit me. I'm talking like oh my God, I'm fighting Calvin Kattar. Oh my God, I'm fighting top 10. Oh, like all these thoughts, you know what I mean? So this is like the first time like I've really experienced that in my career. And I was really like, I'm happy that I experienced that, especially on a win and not a loss. You know what I mean? So for me, that was like the biggest thing. And I knew what I'm capable of, man. Even if I'm not 100%, even if I'm not this and that, I know the talent I bring, and I know the hard work that I bring, and I know the discipline I bring. That's gonna give problems to a lot of these guys in the top 10.
And obviously, you took a lot of heat, I guess, online and social media. People saying you were running in the third round. When you look back at that now, like what's your assessment of that? Like, what's your response to those critics?
Man, those critics are always going to be there. You know what I mean? And the matter is, it's like Laurent Murphy, you know? They all booed him, talked about his last fight against Josh Emmett, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, which is so stupid, man. It's like, you want the guy to bang with a guy that's known for probably, besides Jeremy Stevens, he is the hardest hitter 45er in that division. There's nobody like him. Name one guy that's can hit you and put you out like that. I really don't see it in that division. You know what I mean? Besides Jeremy Stevenson, because he just didn't care. But I'm just like to to make that. I was like, that's not how fighting goes. It's like going to a war. I'm going to a war, and I'm like, hold on. These guys have aircraft missiles, so that means let's go in a plane. That makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. So that's how I feel about it. And I'm like, the critics are always gonna be there, but they will all forget after your next fight and you go perform. They're all gonna forget about it and then be like, oh my God, here we go. Let's jump on that train again.
And you had to know you were up 2 rounds to nothing going into that third round. So you had to know Calvin's coming in looking to take your head off, needing to get a finish, right? Like, did he ever have you like real buzzed at all? Because I know he connected, like that was his best round of the fight. So I'm just curious, like if there was ever any moment where you thought maybe he had a chance to get back in the fight.
I mean, there's always that chance, you know. I like cracked me a couple times. And, like it's not like, oh my God, the fight is gonna be over. I feel like for you to do that to me, it's like you got to be like clean, or I do a big mistake. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the thing. And I was like, I went into that fight really just like I said, the first 2 rounds was the game plan. I stuck to the game plan, really picked him apart, and just kind of do that. And I know I kind of knew he was a slow starter as well, so I kind of took that to my advantage a little bit. So I kind of like really go that, and I know a lot of people be saying like, "Oh my gosh, if it was 5 rounds. If it was 5 rounds, I would fight completely different." You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of this game. You know what I mean? You get to learn from your own wins and losses, and other people's wins and losses as well. So definitely.
Did I hear you say something that Calvin may have been using Vaseline too? Is that something you said?
Yeah, don't get Faraz on me, man. We talked about Faraz, so we're all good now. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. What I felt, it is what it is. But obviously, I don't want to be like the guy to be like, okay, well, like I don't need to say anything because I won. But I said what I said after the fight because I'm like, bro, it's like I felt multiple people when I grappled with, and I'm like, yeah, that's a little too slick. I don't know, and you're sweaty. You're not that sweaty, so I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But hey, but it is what it is.
But you and Coach Zahabi are all good now. You guys have talked it
Yeah,
out.
we're all good. We're all good, man. We're all good. You sent me a text and we all talked and it's everything.
Yeah, man. What a huge win. I know this is your second stint here in the UFC, and now here you are already in the top 10. When you just look at where you're at now versus when you first, got back into the big show, like do you are you I mean you're way ahead of things, right? Like you got to feel like you fast tracked right, to where you're at now. Like what's your mental like how much more is your confidence at like an all-time high versus before?
Man, like you said, it's definitely at all-time high for sure. And the only thing is the belief. I feel like the belief changed completely from the first fight, like first UFC debut to coming back in the second stint. So the mentality is different, the thinking is different, the like everything is on purpose. It's like not they're like, oh yeah, you in the UFC, you're fame, blah blah, you're this. Nobody cares, you know? And I feel like what I learned from that experience is a blessing in the sky. I'm so grateful for that, and I know a lot of people don't get to say this. You know, I'm very blessed that I got kicked out of the UFC and to really reconsider my whole life and my career and everything to come back to the second stint of my UFC career.
I just interviewed Kyle Dawkins the other day, and during our interview, this was before he came back and had that huge win over in Shanghai. And I mentioned you because people were saying that if he goes in there and he beats Michel Pereira, which he did, it's going to catapult him right back into the mix. A guy that's right outside of the top 15. And I mentioned where you're at now, and he was saying that that's motivating for him as a guy that's coming back into the UFC. Are you starting to hear that kind of stuff from other guys who have had a similar experience?
100%. I think the biggest thing is like they love the second, like the everybody's favorite ending of a movie or stuff
The
like that.
comeback.
Come back, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like I'm getting more love for it than anything. Like, hey man, I love what you're doing. I love seeing what you're doing and stuff like that. Like that's kind of like really like it touches the heart a little bit. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm doing something for other people as well. You know what I mean? It's not just for myself. And like you said, this sport is about opportunities. It's like you go win one fight and that's gonna change everything. Like you said, he just beat Michael. That's outside the top 15. He was ranked, and obviously all this highlight reel knockouts and all this, and you go finish him and do that. Now you're in the conversation. Now we're talking about who we're gonna give you next. You know what I mean? And that's what's exciting. That's what's exciting about this sport. And like I said, I always said this before. It's always like a puzzle, right? And the puzzles get harder. You start with the 500 puzzle, you go to 1,000 piece. Now we're at the 2,000 pieces, and like we're trying to get up nice and slow.
Back in 2020, you took Ilia Topuria to a decision. One of the only guys that has even lasted in there with them. He's looking absolutely spectacular, doing what he is now. Did you anticipate him to do what he did to Oliveira? What are your thoughts on your former
Yeah.
opponent?
Brother, as soon as they signed the contract and they announced that fight, I asked about it, everybody. I was like, I will guarantee you he would knock him out in the first round. It broke my heart because Charles Oliveira is one of my favorite fighters. He did it twice now to me, bro. He did it to Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira for me. So, and Volk actually too. But he actually I was like, damn, but bro, it's like the people don't understand. Like, you need IQ with that guy. You do not again. You expect to trade with a power puncher. You expect to train with a guy like does all that. Like makes no sense to me at all. Like that matchup is built for Ilia Topuria. Any matchup that can come into him, he's built for him. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it definitely. And like I said this before, when I was out of the UFC, he was my whole motivation, and he's still my whole motivation till this day. It's like, why are you not chasing the best? Why are we not chasing the best? Like he's literally the best fighter in the world.
How would you do against him now versus like obviously you did pretty well in 2020. Like obviously you're way better now. But if you were to get matched up with him, let's just say 2026 that rematch happens. Like what do you think we'd see?
You would see a whole lot of different Youssef, I tell you that. And then you would see a whole different fight. That will be his toughest fight, and I guarantee you, I will open up a lot of holes that a lot of people never did in his career. So I promise you that, and hopefully that happens. And if I have to go to 55, I go to 55. But the main goal right now is 45, and then stick with 45 and see what happens.
Do you think he'll ever come back down to 45?
No, he's too big, man. I think he's way too big, and I feel like you make so much money that you don't need to go to 45. Why you need to go 45? He's probably the highest paid athlete in the UFC right now, probably.
Yeah. Those weight cuts. I don't know how you guys do it. So him versus Makachev at 155. That's a fight that obviously the whole combat sports world would love to see. If that does happen, how do you see that fight playing out?
Bro, I love Islam, man. That's the best I think, like in the world, like just because of the grappling and all that stuff. And I think if Ilya stops his takedowns and stuff like that and watches out from that left high kick that Islam has, and like if he can deal with the high kicks or like the kicking in general, because a lot of people be sleeping on Islam's kicking, man. He's a really well-rounded fighter, and that's what makes him more dangerous. But if he can stop all that, I think Ilya has a really good chance of finishing this fight.
Sorry, my dog just fell off the couch. You should
Oh,
see
she's good.
you should see her right now. She's got one of those little cones around her head because she's got an infection
Oh
on her
yeah, but
lip.
those are hilarious. Bro. I love
Yeah.
when dogs have that, bro. It's so sad, but I love it.
Yeah, I know. She's the sweetest thing. She's okay though. I just had to make sure she was all right. Is there anyone else at 55 that you think could beat to Poirier? Is Gaethje the guy, or is it just Islam right now?
Islam, Arman, Gamra. There's a lot of guys that can give him a real problem just because of the wrestling, high level wrestling they have. But also like Ilya hasn't tested his wrestling yet because no, he don't need to. He makes it a boxing fight because he's like you see that one when Oliveira tried to take him down, his hips like floated in the sky while he come on top. I was like, that's insane. But yeah, there's definitely some opportunities. But and Gaethje as well. Gaethje brings some heat and like brings wildness, so that can change a lot of things as well. But so definitely there's some contenders in there. But obviously, if I had to say number one contender is Islam for
Yeah.
sure.
One last Topuria question. Prime Ilia Topuria versus prime Conor McGregor at featherweight. What happens?
Oh, that's a tough question, bro. That's a tough question. That's a real. If Ilya uses wrestling, Ilya wins.
Yeah, that's kind of the same sentiment that I hear when I've asked that question to others. But wouldn't that be something if that was ever able to come to fruition? Obviously, it's not going to happen. But like if we could be like time travelers and make that fight happen, that would just be unbelievable for the fans. Who knows? Maybe Connor will get
Oh,
back and
100%. Just because the range that Connor brought in his prime is ridiculous. There's none of it, unless it's like your Khabib and you go bolt to rush him, then you win. But you gotta come in with some heat to come into that one.
that would have been spectacular. As far as just the division goes right now, Volkanovski is the champion again. Got to admit, like I like seeing it. I love Volkanovski. He's just a very likable guy, I think, and I love his fighting style. What was your thoughts on his UD win over Diego Lopez? Do you think Volk is back to stay for a while?
Bro, Diego's like, I mean, Volk, it's like you never sleep on that guy, man. He's such a well-rounded fighter. It's like even at I think he's like 35 years old. It's like, man, he has that like old man strength too as well. You know what I mean? And his cardio is fucking amazing, and all that stuff. So, and I feel like Diego in a little bit kind of like didn't show like you can tell the experience difference. You know what I mean? I think that was the biggest thing in that fight. But yeah, that's amazing. But man, Volk got a lot of people coming after him, man. And this division is not stopping. So it's like it's literally rotating nonstop. Like you got Diego versus Gene Silva. Now you got Laurent. I think he's gonna fight Laurent Murphy. And like you got all these guys nonstop coming at him. So yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be an interesting next 2 years for Volk, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think the featherweight division's as deep as it's ever been right now. What are your thoughts just on two quick fights? Lerone Murphy KOing Aaron Pico, and then Aljamain beating Ortega.
Yeah, Aljamain, man, Aljamain is a funky style. It's really hard to deal with. You know what I mean? And he has, I think, one of the best grappling in that featherweight division. You know what I mean? So you have to respect that, and then you have to deal with the funky style. So it's like it's really complicated and really hard. And that's what I expected. I don't know what's going on with Ortega. I really don't know what's going on with his life and all that stuff. But obviously, I don't know if he should go to 55. Obviously, with the weight cuts and all that stuff. But yeah, I expected that. That's what I expected in that fight. So that was my expectation. But yeah, but with the Diego, I mean Laurent and Pico. By the way, goddamn Pico, bro, his boxing, holy smokes, that first 2 minutes is crazy. Like one of the cleanest body shots I've ever seen in my life. And how was Laurent still standing on that one? That was pretty insane. But shout out to Laurent though, man. That was if you don't call that an inspiration and like motivation to go fight, it's to go 5 round and everybody talking smack about him. Oh, he's running, he's this and that. The man stuck to the game plan for 25 minutes and then goes out there and still stuck to his plan and really go finish. And they showed a video of him practicing that in the locker room.
That's and then he goes out and does it.
I'm like, brother, you get my praise, brother. That was motivation. See, that's what I'm telling you. Like, that's what motivates me to either go fight that guy or go perform the next fight. That's like what I see in that division.
Obviously you're lasered in on Josh Emmett right now, and if you could have one other fight, it would be for the title, obviously. But when you look at the other guys that are ranked ahead of you, is there someone that stands out that you really would like to test yourself against and fight, or even maybe someone below you like Gene Silva? Like, there's so many guys right now in the division that are just super dangerous. I'm just curious if there's someone that kind of stands out outside of the champ right now that you're really paying attention to.
God, bro, anybody from the top, like literally from the champion all the way to number six, it's ridiculous, bro. It's like you talk about every name that you bring up is a legend. Every name that you bring up in the top six, it's like, oh my God. Like you got Diego Lopez, you got Laurent Murphy, you got Brian Ortega, now you got Aljamain, you got who else we got? Arnold, we got Yair. Those all matchups that you like, holy shit. So yeah, I definitely say any. I don't have no particular standout in a way, but yeah, I feel like all of them stand out to me. I feel like every single one of them, I'm like, man, let's go do this.
Tell me why you believe that you are the best featherweight in the world right now.
Oh man, I'm the best featherweight because just because of the IQ that I bring into this game and the like different styles. I feel like not a lot of people have all that styles and all that stuff, and like they're all either power punchers or explosive guys or this and that or wrestlers. There's not like a well-rounded game, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely and I'm gonna show that, you know? And I feel like a lot of people will say, "Oh, he just talks and does this and that." And hey, talks wins. So hey, we win and so we can't complain.
So you just think more, you're just the more well-rounded guy that's out there. There's nobody that can do everything at as high of a level as you can.
100%.
All right. And as far as like the looks you're getting in camp right now, obviously at one of the best gyms on planet Earth, Factory X. I love you guys, Dustin, Cody. There's so many just good dudes there. How has it been? Obviously, the fight announcement just happened, but I know you're training year round. What is it? What has it been like at Factory X lately?
Oh, bro, I have this little short guys to try to kill me, bro. We got B Mitch, I got AJ Fletcher is one of them. I got my boy Lolo Lorenzo. He fights this weekend. Actually, is an amateur coming up. He's gonna be real good, man. Real good. I'm excited for his future. But yeah, man, those guys are out trying to kill me. And actually, last week I sparred with Gaethje. He came in a little bit too. So I was like, hey, man, I'm getting those right hand throwing at me and the left hooks and all that stuff. So yeah, man, I'm definitely getting prepared for this fight, and I'm grateful for those guys, man. They've been helping me for a long time, and like you said, then we're trying to get to the top and finish it on top.
What was it like training with Gaethje? How hard did you guys mix it up?
Oh, bro, he's wild, bro. He's like the funniest, wildest guy I ever met in my life. Like that guy just don't like. Sometimes I feel like he doesn't even think. He just goes be Gaethje. That's it. Like it's the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like he comes in and like wild fighting and like, bro, he hits me and I was like, God damn. I was like, he's so dense, like so dense, bro. It's like I never felt a human being that's like so hollow and dense at the same time. Like it's just crazy. It's just crazy. But yeah, he's one of the best energy to have around as well.
Do you anticipate getting some more working with him ahead of the fight with Josh Emmett?
100%. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think he'll come in. I helped him out for when he was supposed to fight Dan Hooker a little bit. I sparred him a lot of times and obviously we had that good relationship with Trevor as well. So they have a lot of guys that in there, obviously Corey and him. And so yeah, I think they might come in this week or next week. I don't know yet, but obviously we're still 6 weeks away from the fight. So we got some time a little bit, but yeah, I mean, if you know, you get a chance to go with Gaethje, you're gonna take every chance you're gonna get. So yeah, I'm definitely down for that.
How careful do you have to be like during sparring? With obviously, we've talked numerous times about Josh Emmett's power and him coming over with that, giant right hand that he has. Like when you're in there mixing it up, preparing to fight him, I mean, obviously you don't want to take an unnecessary shot, but I think you kind of have to put yourself through the fire with people that are throwing those big power punches at you. So what's that dynamic like to make sure that you're doing the training you need to, but obviously you don't want to get beat up too much before the fight starts.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. That's the science of it, and that's the puzzle that you have to like understand and like put together. You know what I mean? Like you said, I can't just go get hit and just keep getting hit in the brain and like really not getting your stuff like that. But you also got to get down. You know what I mean? You can't just not be like, oh, I cannot spar, I cannot train. Like you have to feel that nerve. You have to feel that like get comfortable with all that stuff. You know what I mean? Somebody trying to take your head off, pretty much. So yeah, definitely like that's what we're doing, and obviously being smart about it and just stick to the game plan. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest difference. You know what I mean? Stick to the game plan. Go do your job. Move on.
All right, October 4th, UFC 320. You're at the
Not April
T-Mobile.
4th. Not
That's
April
right.
4th. My
Not
bad.
April 4th. You don't want to wait that
It's like
long,
April
Youssef.
Fools.
Yeah, that would be the longest training camp ever. This fight is obviously in Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. A couple of title fights headline it. Let me get your prediction for those. Ankalaev, Pereira 2. Let's start there for the 205 title.
I really think Ankalaev, man. Ankalaev is a dangerous guy, and he has wrestling and everything. So I do believe Ankalaev gets this done.
Do you think by decision?
I'm gonna go with what he said, and he said he gonna finish him. I'm gonna go with a finish.
Okay. Well, that would be interesting seeing Poatan on the receiving end of a finish. And then the co-main event is for the bantamweight title, Marab versus Sandhagen. You got some ties to Corey, so maybe you're leaning that way. But Marab
Yeah, that's the
is a
problem. I'm like,
machine.
listen, bro.
So
I was like, Corey is like one of the best IQ guys as well. You know what I mean? So that he brings a lot of problems in a way, and I feel like his style would bring a lot of problems to Marab. I love Marab, by the way, one of the greatest human beings I've ever met in my life. Like so funny, so humble. Like he's just awesome, and I'll never forget when the day I met him. It was amazing, bro. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Corey on this one. But I hope they become friends after that.
okay, fair enough. Let's come back here to Josh Emmett. He is coming off that UD loss to Lerone Murphy. Have you watched that back a few times? And I assume so. But like, what did you take from that performance that he had against a recent winner in Lerone Murphy?
It's a tough fight. I feel like it's a really tough fight. The guy moves a lot, footwork, really good footwork. He really stayed patient. He didn't rush in. I feel like sometimes like when Josh Emmett hit him hard, like you know what I mean, like people will react a little bit different. You know what I mean? So he stuck to the game plan and reacted like the way he needed to react. So I feel like he just like kind of got frustrated in a way, and that kind of like messed with him a little bit. So and that's like what I think happened in that fight. And it's a smaller cage too, so I feel like he had more opportunities to close that range and like really go at it. So, but you fighting one of the best in the world and top guys in the world, so it's kind of get to you.
Do you think that with this fight with Josh Emmett, that your speed and movement is going to be the key to you getting your hand raised?
100%. Every fight that I go into is my speed and my movement is the number one thing that either helps me get the win or helps me find the finish.
And with his durability, are you anticipating having to go, 15 hard minutes with him and win? Or do you think, you said earlier you'd like to find that puzzle piece and find his off button? Like ultimately, what do you think we're going to see here come October 4th?
Listen, man, I'm ready for 25 minutes. Doesn't matter. But the biggest thing, it's like I told you before, it's about moments, and you go out there and in a pay-per-view second fight or first fight, doesn't matter. You go out there and finish Josh Emmett. That's the last time he's been finished was Yair for a belt, for an interim belt. So beside that, he was finished like Jeremy Stevenson. That's the only guy to ever done it. So to go out there and do it masterfully. Now you're gonna be talking and all those fans and all this. Oh my God, Youssef, and I'm like, hi, how you guys doing? Yeah, there you go. But yeah, man, I definitely that's what I have in my mind, and that's what I will do on October 4th, not
Can't
April. I'll let y'all know.
Can't wait to watch, my man. And it will be on the main card. So you got to buy the pay per view to tune in and see this fight. Last thing before we get you out of here today, Youssef, I heard that you do a pretty good Kevin Hart impression. So I want to hear it for myself. Let
My
me hear the
voice,
Kevin.
my voice is the same as Kevin Hart. That's what everybody keep telling me.
That's it. It's just your voice.
Yeah, bro. I don't know about the impression. I don't know about the impression. Chris Tucker. They gave me like a lot of Chris Tucker. You know.
Okay. I was actually, because I'm glad you said that, because I was leaning more towards Chris Tucker than
Yeah,
than Kevin
that's what I
Hart.
get a lot. It was like Chris Tucker, like, come on, man. you
Yeah.
know? Well, that's like a lot to give me a lot. Sometimes they say I'm Kevin Hart. But yeah, you're like, yeah, but I think more Chris Tucker, but I don't know. I just got like a loud, weird fucking voice, bro.
Well, it's very engaging, and I'm sure it does nothing but just help you gain more friends because again, like I said earlier, man, you got a great personality. You're fun to talk to and be around. So I'm sure it's people gravitate towards you because of it.
No, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I try to be me, man. Like I said, I learned a lot throughout my life, and I try to change myself, and I try to be like, oh my God, like you got to talk right, you got to do this right, you got this like, no disrespect, like fuck them, I like you live your life to live your life, and I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm not here to make everybody happy and all that. I'm here to make me and my family and the most important thing. So, and the close circle that I have is the most important thing in my life.
I love it, man. As always, I appreciate your time. Great talking to you. Before we sign off, I'll give you the floor. Anything you want to plug, anyone you want to thank, the floor is yours.
No, thank you for all the fans, the true fans, not the fake MMA fans. But I appreciate you guys, and I can't wait October 4th, not April 4th. And make sure to tune in and buy that pay-per-view, and let's go, baby. October 4th, we change our life.